Hi everybody, and this is episode 4 of A Little Bit of Positive Balance in an Uncertain World with Therapy Ted and me. Now, if you're not a kinesiology client, don't worry if some of this doesn't make any sense. Just stay relaxed, just listen to what I'm saying and just absorb it, and just know that your energies will be being calmed down. Okay, so we'll go straight into the balance today. And you have asked for a colour again, and this time it's cyan. Now, cyan is all about building your confidence and giving you clarity in making choices. It's also about releasing stress. So I think we're all having to make choices at the moment, and I think that this will help us stay calm and make good choices about what's going on around us at the moment. Okay. Oh, so just drink that colour in. Really, really close look at the colour. Lovely. Okay, so the balance is a quantum balance. This time we're on the solar plexus chakra, withholding the emotional stress release points. And that's to do with your immune system, but it's also to do with your self-esteem and how you feel about yourself. So nicely linking in with the building your confidence with the cyan. The first harmonic was an original trigger, and this is unresolved emotional upsets. I think quite a lot of people are quite upset at the moment, so hopefully this will calm. If you fall into that category, this will calm you down a little bit more. There's a survival mechanism for shock. And I think, this is the first time I think we've had this level of restriction in any of our lifetimes, really. So there is an element of shock that, this is happening. We're detoxing viruses. Now, this is dealing with the energy imprint of old viruses, which will lead you to be in a better position if you get any new viruses swimming in, whether that's corona or anything else. And we also have an ancestral healing heading, which is about repeating issues. And this is about not being safe. So again, if your confidence isn't good, then your chances are that you will feel less safe. Whereas if your confidence is good, then you'll know that you can cope with whatever is kind of thrown at you. And then you'll feel safer. So it's kind of a bit of a chicken and egg on that one. So Therapy Ted has all of this. We've set this up. Cosmats are on and he is good to go. Right, okay, so positives. I was just thinking that there's been a couple of really nice positives, and one of them was that there's been a collaboration between some Canadian and some Dutch scientists, and they've actually isolated the agent for the coronavirus, which actually means that this will have speedier testing, because now we know what the agent is. It won't be quite so long-winded, as far as I understand it. So that was one thing. And then the other thing I thought was really nice was, remember I told you about this shipment coming from China? Well, I'm not sure if this is the same shipment or a different shipment, but a Chinese company have donated crates and crates of respiratory masks that are being sent to Italy to help them deal with their crisis. But the thing that was really nice is that on the outside of every crate, there is a quote from Seneca in Italian and in English, which says, so I'm going to have to read up from here, we are waves of the same sea, leaves of the same tree, flowers of the same garden. And I just thought that was absolutely lovely, that, we're all in this together. This is the first time in our lifetimes that we've had a kind of a global thing going on. It's very much, it's not an us and them anymore. It's all us. We're all facing this potential problem. The other positive is that China is definitely improving now. South Korea, who I think were the second country to get a massive problem with this, they're now seeing more recoveries than they are seeing new cases. So that also bodes very well for the rest of us, if it works out that we all kind of go through in a similar way. Although I know that that's not necessarily the case, that different countries might be different in how their population reacts. So that's the positives. And I did say I would talk a little bit about routines today. And I think most of us are not used to being at home all the time. Now, those who are self-employed like myself, obviously I am, but I have clients coming in. So I do at the moment have more free time than I would normally have, because obviously I'm not treating electrolysis clients, I'm not treating waxing clients, I'm only treating kinesiology clients via the internet or by telephone. So it is interesting having a little bit more free time. And the most important thing for all of us is to still have a routine. So what I would recommend is that you do get up in the morning, that you do get, washed and changed. Give your body that cue that this is no longer sleep time. We are now up, we are now doing things. Eat regularly. If you haven't actually got anything in place because you're not working from home and you don't have childcare, or there's nothing else to kind of really structure your day, then do a structure for yourself, even if that's, I'm going to spend the morning reading, I'm going to curl up in the afternoon, watching a nice film or something on YouTube or whatever. And then also see about whether there's another routine you want to put in place to do with a bit of exercise, to do with maybe a bit of investigation into maybe a new hobby, or increase, as I said the other time, hone your skills on a hobby that you've already got. But put these things in as it's almost like a little timetable. It doesn't have to be rigid, but just sort of so you've got a bit of a routine going on, because we like routine. We like knowing what we're doing and what we're doing next. So the more you do that, the more likely you are to be more grounded and more centered. So routine is important. Don't forget to keep drinking your water either. Now, tomorrow we're going to talk about what you actually need to know about what's going on, and how much exposure you should really be giving to the news, social media, depending on your feed and the kind of people that you are following. And so that we're going to talk about a little tomorrow. But what I would say is, if you are one of these people where you have the news on a lot, don't do it. Really restrict. At the moment, we're listening to little snippets on radio. We might catch the first sort of that little snippety bit at the start of the news that kind of just gives you the précis of what's going on. And then that's enough. The most important thing really is just to know that you need to self-isolate. You need to keep your distance. Drink plenty of water. Look after yourself. And if you do have children around, keep telling them that it will be all right, that it is going to be safe. Even if you're worried, do not let this pass on to your children or your grandchildren. It's really important that we give them a sense of security, and we make it more fun. If they're home from school, make it as fun as you can, because we want them to remember, looking back at this time, oh, that was the great time. I spent more time with mum and dad, or more time with grandma and grandpa, if grandma and grandpa are well enough to be able to do this. Not, oh, that's the time I was really scared because everybody was scared around me. So, and that's up to parents. You can sort this out. Right, okay. So Therapy Ted has now done his stuff. So tomorrow we'll do a little bit more on what it is that you actually need to know. Although I think I've probably just covered most of it there. But we will do a bit of a reprise tomorrow. Unless I come up with a different topic being suggested to me, which I kind of think is like, oh, that's really, really good. So that's us signing off. So just have another look at that beautiful cyan colour. Hope you're feeling a little bit more confident that you can handle what's going on at the moment. And Therapy and Ted and I will say goodbye from a little bit of positive balance in an uncertain world. And don't forget, if you want to get more of these, just subscribe below and click the little notification button. See you tomorrow.